Tungasthanagiri Suptamudbodhya Krishnam Pararthyam Swam Shrutishatha Shirasiddham Adhyapayanti Svochishhtayam Sraji Nigalitam Ya Balatkritya Bhunte Godatasai Namayidamidam Bhuyaye Vastu Bhuyaha Yo Nityam Achyuta Padambuja Yugma Rukma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinayamene Asmadguror Bhagavatos Dayeka Sandhoho Ramanujasya Sharanau Sharanam Prapadye. Swami Ramanuja was the foremost Acharya in the lineage of Shri Vaishnava Acharyas. He was known the Jagadacharya and the Uttaraka Acharya. The topic for our Upanyasam today is the relatives of Swami Ramanuja. Ramanuja was a yati. He was a sannyasi. A sannyasi renounces all his relatives and belongings. He offers himself to God, leads a life of asceticism. One who ascends is an ascetic. He has raised above these mundane pleasures, material desires, and focused on God and his auspicious qualities. The word yati or sannyasi would describe the status of any ascetic. Sannyasi means one who has renounced everything. Tyagi, one who is without any desire. One who has left all his desires. Ramanuja was a sannyasi. This is the fourth ashrama, if one could say. Human beings are allowed 4 ashramas. They can be in these 4 states. They can enjoy these 4 statuses: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. One is a brahmachari when he practices celibacy, unmarried so to say. A Grihastha, a householder, when he is married. A Vanaprastha, when he starts living in a forest along with his wife. And lastly, Sannyasa, when he renounces. We all popularly know that a sannyasi wears a saffron cloth, robe, holds a tridanda, a big staff in his hand. Such was Ramanuja, also a sannyasi. If he is a sannyasi, he must have renounced. As a tyagi, would have lived without desires. In fact, it was customary in good olden days that a sannyasi would not meet any of his relatives. They are not supposed to show their face to him. When this was the case, then how can we take that Ramanuja had many relatives? He could have had in his Purva Ashrama. Whenever you talk about a sannyasi, you call his earlier life as Purva Ashrama. This was his earlier life. Today he is a sannyasi. If you want to address the sannyasi's wife, we won't say his wife. Instead, his Purva Ashrama wife, which would mean that she was a wife in his earlier ashrama. When we are so careful addressing relatives of a sannyasi, how can we have a topic that Ramanuja and his relatives? These relatives were not Deha Bandhus. They were not related to Ramanuja just because they were physically related, not because they belonged to a family. They belonged, but still, they were more so attached to him spiritually. We have 2 categories of bandhus, of relatives. One, those who are physically related through a family, and the other, who are spiritually related. They are all Atma Bandhus. Ramanuja enjoyed many Atma Bandhus. Who were they? And can we become an Atma Bandhu of Ramanuja? How can we become if we can? Ramanuja was born in the year 1017. He lived for 120 years. That was a long, complete life. He departed this material world in 1137. Come next year, in 2017, we will all be celebrating the millennium of Swami Ramanuja. Ramanuja Sahasrabdi Mahotsava. What is the takeaway from this? How do we celebrate? Is it again by lot of prasadam, Pasharam Sevakalam, Adhyapanam, Adhyanam? Yes, we do. Certainly we will do them. But we must also imbibe certain qualities that he had. Try to practice them. Those qualities were so auspicious and great that they are all great qualities but easy to practice. When we go through these relatives and the way they were related to Ramanuja, we would be coming across those qualities too. And if we can at least practice a couple of them, that would be a great act of gratitude to celebrate his millennium meaningfully. Let me first tell you the meaning for sannyasi and tyagi from the beginning verses of chapter 18 in Bhagavad Gita. 18th chapter talks about sannyasam and tyagam. Arjuna had a doubt. He enquires with Krishna, sannyasasya mahabaho. Who is a sannyasi and who is a tyagi? Krishna, I have learned that sannyasi is a one who is a Jiyar Swami. His clothes and what he holds in his hand, his matham or ashram, they all decide his status. So he is a sannyasi. Tyago hi purusha vyagra trividha samprakirtitaha. I would also like to know who a tyagi is. One who has sacrificed is a tyagi. We all know that a tyagi is a person who tried a lot for independence. Even in India, one who fought for the independence of that country, they are all acclaimed as tyagis and rewarded too. Are they tyagis? Are all those who wear a saffron cloth a sannyasi? This was the doubt in the mind of Arjuna. Krishna did not reply to it directly. Instead, he started introducing various types of sannyasis and tyagis. Arjuna, there is one school that says that if you have renounced all your actions, you are a sannyasi. Nyasa, to place or submit. Sannyasa, to submit totally. So the word sannyasa means I submit, I surrender totally. I own nothing anymore. So sannyasa is a word that talks about renunciation. Then tyaga is of three. It's not just tyaga. Have you heard the word homam? We do homam, Sudarshana homam, Ashtakshari homam. The word homam also houses this word tyaga. Dravya tyagam is homam. If I submit some materials, thinking about invocating Indra, Chandra, Kubera, Lakshmi, Sudarshana, then that sacrifice, whatever material that I offered to fire God is a tyagam. That material is the material, dravyam. Dravya tyagam is tyagam. Homa is nothing but dravya tyagam, devata uddishya. Devata uddeshama, if we towards initiating a devata, and if I sing towards the devata and offer some dravya, that is known as homam. So tyagam is nothing but offering, nothing but leaving, nothing but submitting. Arjuna wanted to know, submit what? Can I stop performing all karmas? Can I stop doing anything? Can I stop wreathing a garland? Can I stop recitation? Krishna is stopping all actions, abstaining from doing anything. Is it sannyasa? When we say nyasa, sannyasa, is it abstaining from all? Krishna shook his head wildly. Certainly not. If so, then I would have not have incarnated to establish all the last dharmas. The three main purposes of Sri Krishna's birth, they are paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam, dharma samsthapanarthaya, sambhavami yuge yuge. Sambhavami yuge yuge. I incarnate in every yuga for these three purposes. Sadhu paritranam, to protect the virtuous. Dushta nirasam, to kill, to remove all the wicked. Dharma samsthapanam, to establish dharma, the righteous path. When Bhagavan incarnates to establish dharma, will he say that abstain from action? If you abstain from everything, then you cannot do dharma even. You will abstain from even doing dharma. Satyam vada, talk the truth, is a dharma. So talking the truth is an action. If renouncing all actions would amount to sannyasa, then I renounce this action. I don't talk the truth anymore. Can we say that as sannyasi? A sannyasi is the one who should always talk the truth. Whereas talking the truth is dharma. If I have to stop all action, I will have to stop dharma even. Then don't feed the poor, don't help the poor, don't do anything to anyone. That is not the one. Krishna says, Kamyanam karmanam nyasam sannyasam kavayo viduhu. There is one set of people whose opinion is this, Arjuna. Kamyanam karmanam nyasam. Now Krishna divides. He classifies karma into these. 1. Nitya karma. 2. Naimittika karma. And the last, Kamya karma. Nitya karma, which you are supposed to do every day without fail. Sandhyavandanam is a Nitya karma anutthanam. And if you can add, even Aradhanam is a Nitya karma anutthanam. Anusandhanam is a Nitya karma. These are all Nitya karma. Naimittika karma. Those karmas that are done when something happens. It happens. There is an eclipse today. I perform tarpana. That is a nimitta matra karma. Nimitta is a cause. There is a cause today for me to do karma. The cause is there is an eclipse. So that karma is naimittika karma. There is nothing happens today for me to do sandhyavandanam. I just do it every day. So that is nitya karma, naimittika karma. And the third category is kamya karma. I do not have a son. No issues for long. I conduct putra kameshti yaga. That's a kamya karma. I have a specific purpose in doing that karma, and that purpose is not reaching Vaikuntham. That purpose is material. To get a lot of money, I do Vayavya yaga. There is a yaga called Vayavya yaga. Vayavyam shvetam alabheta puti kamaha. Vayu Devata is a very powerful god. If there is a big wind that flows, wherever you find lot of dirt or other dust material, they all collect in one place. Similarly, if you perform Vayavya Yajna in wherever, whoever home, whatever money they have, all vaults and money will collect in my place. This is why we do Vayavya Homa. Vayavyam Shvetam Alabheta Puti Kamaha Vayurvai Kshepishta Devata. And if I would like to reach Indrapatna Swargaloka, Jyotishtoma is a yajna. Jyotishtomena Swargakamo Yajeta. Let the people who want to reach Swarga, desirous of reaching Swarga, perform Jyotishtoma. Jyotishtoma, Vayavya, Putra Kameshti are all Kamya Karma. So Nitya Karma, Naimittika Karma, Kamya Karma. Now sannyasi would mean, Arjuna, those who stop Kamya Karmas is sannyasi. If you don't desire for anything mean, no fruit, I don't want any result, Swami, I just do it for the sake of doing it. If so, then that is called sannyasa. This is one school of thought. Some say that Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Viduhu Sarva Karma Phalatyagam Prakustyayam Vichakshanaha. There is one other school, Arjuna. This is very interesting. Sarva Karma Phalatyagam. Don't stop doing any karma. You can even do Putra Kameshti. Even do Vayavya. Do any karma. But Sarva Karma Phalatyagam. Renounce the fruits of all those karmas. Earlier, he said, practice, do Nitya Karma, Naimittika Karma. Abstain from Kamya Karma. This is sannyasam. There is another opinion that don't stop anything. Do any karma as you want. Of course, if they are prescribed in the Shastra, do all the karmas prescribed in the Shastra, but do not wish for any result. Don't desire for any fruit. If so, that is known as sannyasa. There is a difference between the two. In the first opinion, we would abstain from certain karmas. That would mean there will be no more Putra Kameshti, no more Vayavyam, No more Shweta Grichara Yagam. Many yagams would be stopped. If so, then many Ritviks will go out of job. They won't be invited. They cannot be offered dakshina. And many dravyams won't be offered. There won't be congregations. You won't be distribution prasadam to congregation. So this will invite lot more problems if you stop. Instead, Krishna says, continue. See, if you stop all the bridge works, if you stop all the road repair works, then many would go jobless. How does the government manage to boost economy? Whenever the economy is sluggish, they announce projects. We are going to build bridges. We are going to build buildings. We are going to build schools, build colleges. And that generates employment. People hire more, they spend more, and you spend more and the whole economy revives. Adhe Mari, Krishna has a spiritual economy. This is a material economy. He has a spiritual economy. To keep that wheel of spiritual economy running, he announces often. Here it would be Vayagya Yaga, perform Putigama, perform Jyotishtoma Yaga, and perform Shena Yaga. If you do Shena Yaga, your enemy is killed. Don't quote me, but it is true. If you do Shena Yaga, you kill your enemy. But do we do that or not? As a great exalted soul and a realized soul, can I do something to kill my enemy? I have to only bear him. I have to only live with it, and I have to forgive my enemy even. So I cannot do, but you can do, provided you do not desire for a result. So do the karma, but renounce the fruits of the karma. Sarva karma phalatyagam. The second one is more meaningful, because in the 4th chapter Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya. I incarnate to establish dharma. But in the 18th chapter he says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. Abstain from all dharmams, leave them, renounce them. Is he telling us to renounce all dharmas or to do our dharma? As per chapter 4, we have to do. As per 18, abstain. Should I do or abstain? Swami, please come to the temple. We invited. All of you, you are invited. Please come to the temple. Having come here, we tell, stand here. It is Shaktumarai tongue now. Stand here. Don't come here. Stand here. Now, you take these two statements together. Swami, you invited us to come to the temple. Now you say, don't come here. What does it mean? Should I not come to the temple? It doesn't mean. As I have invited you to the temple and say, don't come here, this would mean, now I am not stopping you from coming. It would only mean that, yes, you come, but there is a special case that you don't stand here, but here. It would not mean that I am stopping you from coming. You are invited. So when Krishna said, do dharma, I am here to practice dharma, and he adds, the rider to it is, abstain from dharma, what would it mean? It will not be certainly stopping the dharma that it incarnated to establish. Instead, it means something else. That something else is, do dharma, but abstain from desiring a result for dharma. So please do all the dharmas. Don't focus on mean benefits or mean fruits as a result of this dharma karma. So dharma samsthapanarthaya is true, as well as sarvadharman parityajya is also true. You will have to iron out the differences between two statements. One statement is this, that we will have to do dharma. Another statement, abstain from action, which will only mean that we must not wish for any mean fruit. There may be many fruits in this world. Low-hanging fruits are always attractive, but don't settle for them. Kankshantah karmanam siddhim yajantaiha devataha kshipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Arjuna, there are many demigods who offer you instant results. Go circumambulate 108 times, they bless you with whatever you want. If you go to a Hanuman temple, you will find lot of registration numbers written on the wall. Swami, what are they? They are all your examination numbers. They are hall ticket numbers. Hanuman has to either come and write the exam or at least be the examiner and value your paper. He will have to do one of these. Panduran Ketal, and this is all done when the results are going to be published next day. If the results are next day, today I do 100 pradakshanams. Swami, but it is all already corrected. Why are you doing it? But I didn't know the date when they were corrected. If I knew that, I would have done all. Yes, we expect Hanuman to do. be circumambulate. Do I do or not? I can't stop. I will certainly do my pradakshanam. That's a dharma. But what for I do pradakshanam? Here is Anjaneya who helped Rama, who saved 2 lives. In fact, he was a savior of Sita and Rama. I could not help Sita and Rama directly. Instead, let me at least do pradakshanam to someone who helped. This is the way I show my gratitude to Hanuman, the way I show my devotion to Rama and Sita. With this thought, if you do that pradakshanam, then this dharma is welcome. Instead, you do it from some material pleasure or benefit, then that dharma is not welcome. This is the meaning of these 2 statements. So don't think that they conflict each other. They do not. They augment each other. Sarvadharmanu parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. Now are we clear about a sannyasi? One who has renounced all dharmas? Not at all. One who does all the prescribed duties but without desiring for any fruit. He is a sannyasi. Who is a tyagi? Tyagohi purusha vyagra trividha samprakirtitaha. A tyagi has to renounce 3 thoughts. These 3 are very, very important. Kartrutya buddhi tyaga, mamata tyaga, phala tyaga. Kartrutya buddhi, mamata, phalam. Kartrutya buddhi, the thought that I am the performer, I am the doer. Mamata, the thought that this karma belongs to me and this karma will give me this fruit. The thought that this is my karma which gives the fruit. And thirdly, the fruit per se, the phalam itself. So, kartrutya buddhi, mamata, phala, tyaga. You will have to renounce the thought that I am the doer. Think that I am not the doer. He makes me do. Am I the wielder or the weapon? I am the weapon itself, I am not the wielder. But the weapon is insentient. The difference is, I am a sentient weapon. I am not an insentient achit weapon. Instead, I am a weapon with knowledge. I am a weapon with consciousness. I am aware that I am a weapon. A sword won't be aware that it is a weapon. A spear would not be aware of the fact that it is a weapon. Whereas as a Jivatma, I am a weapon in the hands of Paramatma, but I am aware that I am a weapon. So Bhagavan is so happy. Instead of wielding a sword which has no knowledge, will he not use the Jivatma better which has knowledge? Adhanalada, we as Jiva, Chit, are much superior to Achit Tattva, but one must realize that me and Achit are equal in the fact that we both are instruments in the hand of God. As Chakra is an instrument in his hand, me too, I am also an instrument. So think that I am not the doer. You will have to study well for your exam. Prepare well. Write your exam well. Be very cautious. Go through the paper before submitting the answer sheet. Do everything that is possible to get good marks. After that, think that you did not prepare. Think that you did not take the exam. Think that any result, any marks, I am not going to be bothered. I will try again. Now this is what Krishna is telling us to do now. Instead, Swami, I should think that I didn't write the exam. I should prepare but think that I didn't prepare. I should wait for the result but think that the results are not going to bother me. Instead, let me not take the exam. Will it not be easy? Appadi Nali says no. No, you cannot do that. Ma karma hetur phala hetur bhuhu mate sangaha astu akarmani karmanye vadikaraste. You have a right to do your duty. Karmani eva. You have a right only to do your duty. Krishna says karmanyeva. Whenever you add, you have a right only for the duty. Then it seems you do not have that right for something else. What is that else? Ma phaleshu kadachana. Not for any phala, not for any fruit. Ma karma phala hetu bhuhu. Don't think that you are the cause for this fruit. But since I told you to think that you are not the cause, don't conclude that you are not the performer even. You are the performer. You will have to do. But think that you are not the doer. Arjuna said, Krishna, will it not be, in fact, confusion? In reality, I am the doer. But if I think that I am not the doer, is it not confusion? Bhranti, Brahmam Nishalu. Is it not a confusion? Is it not misunderstanding? Will it not amount to misunderstanding? It will not do. You are a doer, Arjuna, but you are not. Because there are 5 doers to successfully complete any action. You are not the only doer. There are 5 people who take part. The Atma, Sharira, Pranavayu, Indriya and Paramatma. So you are only one of the five. You can take one of the five credit. 20% credit is to you, but 80% credit is not to you. There are four other people who have worked as a team. Any action is a team effort. There are five people who are in the team. The Jivatma, of course, the Paramatma, and the Jivatma cannot act without a body. So the body it consists of the Indriyas, your senses, and lastly, Swami, everything is intact, but no pranavayu. Appadina, he doesn't breathe. Everything else is okay, but I think he has stopped breathing. Now you can't do. So there are five that act together. When five people have jointly achieved something, can I take credit for myself? Is it right to do? Is it ethical? It is not. So Arjuna, don't think that you are the doer. You do. Play your part in the team, but don't think that you are the team. You are also a part in that team. Sannyasa, Tyagi. Tyaga is of three thoughts to be renounced. First, that I am not the doer. If I think that I am the doer, I am wrong. So renounce the thought that I am the karta. This is kartrutva buddhi tyaga. Second, mamata tyaga. This is my karma. If I do this karma, I, with my effort, would reach here. It's called mamata, a sense of belonging, that this karma belongs to me. Tyaga. Shed that thought even. Mamata tyaga. Phala tyaga. And the last tyaga, shed. Don't wish for don't desire for any fruit. So kartrutva buddhi, mamata, phala. If you are able to achieve these three, we, being a householder, can be a tyagi. We can continue to be a grihastha, but be a tyagi. If you are able to achieve this, it's very easy to control anger. If you control kama, desire, automatically krodha, anger, is also controlled. Wherever you are angry, you will find an unfulfilled promise underlying. If it's not there, you are not angry at all. There will be some expectation. If the expectation has failed, then you are angry. If the expectation is successful, you are too happy. So if you reduce expectation, if you reduce your desire, then of course you can control anger. You can't just treat the symptom. You have to treat the disease. Symptom is anger. Disease is somewhere else. Disease is desire and expectation. If you are able to control that, you can easily control anger. Now, we have seen who a sannyasi is and who a tyagi is. Tyagi is a person who has renounced all these three thoughts. Sannyasi is the one who has abandoned any desire. He is desireless. He has offered everything to God. Don't we say this? Kayena vacha, manasendriyedva, buddhyatmanava prakrite svabhava, karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai, narayana yeti samarpayami. I offer all, the effects of all my karma, the fruits of all my karma to thy, your lotus feet. Narayana yeti samarpayami. This is because if you add too much of punyams, then you will have to live a great life in the coming births. Swami, I don't wish to. I'd like to reach Vaikuntha. So let me stop all these punyams accumulating in my account. But to stop punyam, if I stop action itself, to build a pond is a punyam. To feed the poor is a punyam. To practice ahimsa is a punyam. So if I practice this, then I will add punyam. So let me not practice. Let me not add to my punyam. If you say so, then the wheel of this samsara will not run. Nobody will extend help. Nobody will share their wealth. No one will build chaul trees. No temples. No ponds. No forests. Nothing will happen. Because Krishna said to stop everything. It doesn't mean that. Please continue doing all dharma, but don't wish for any fruit. Instead, offer all the fruits of your punyam to the lotus feet of Krishna. This is what he means. But you must also be very cautious in making this statement.